Hello, how are you?
What's up, everyone? As promised, here are the interviews with the players of the Eastern Billiards Invitational. Before we get into it, I'd like to take a minute to thank Eastern Billiards Supply, Randy and Jordan for putting this tournament together, and Nikki over at No Quit Apparel. Now, with that being said, let's get it on. All right, how's it going, everybody? I'm sitting here with Tom. Tom is right now still in it. He's in the loser's side, but he's a good shot. I have a feeling he's gonna claw his way back up to the top.
The non-winner's side.
The non-winners side. That's the politically correct term. Yeah. Oh man. So how long have you known Eastern Billiards and Gary and Ruth?
I've known them for probably about 11 years.
Oh wow.
11 years. I back in 2012, 2013, I was looking to get a pool cue. Mm-hmm. And there's very limited places to buy pool cues, but there's only one place where you are able to actually shoot with the cue, try it out, feel it, chalk it up, shoot a game with it. I've never experienced that before.
Oh yeah.
Where you're able to actually touch and hold the cue and shoot with it that you're maybe going to buy. Mm-hmm. And anytime I went back to get other stuff cues, it's, go in for a tip maybe, takes 20 minutes if Gary's not busy, but it turns into 2, 3, 4 hours talking.
You can't go in and out of Eastern Billiards in a half hour.
The relationship that they have and how you get included in on it, and it's like, oh my God, the way they talk to each other and how they are with each other, you can tell they've been married for a long
You feel like
time.
you're in a sitcom. You almost there are moments where I'm in there, I'm like, there's got to be a camera in here.
Yeah, oh, he's dead. Or he's dead for saying that. And she comes back with something just as smart, just as funny, and it's like, oh!
Yeah, I love that, man. That's so awesome. So, you've pretty much solely been doing business with Eastern
I've only
Billiards?
doing business with them. They seem to have everything,
or
can get everything, and it's not, break the bank prices.
Yes.
Always seem to have a deal for you, and it's not pushy. If you want to try a different tip, he doesn't try to talk you out of it. He doesn't say, what do you? I mean, he will say, what you have on here is fine, but if you want something else, fine.
Yeah.
And definitely the knowledge that he has between his ears.
Yeah.
I'm what they call one of those. I like to buy the stuff if it's new, and it seems like they have an amazing amount of cases, amount of cues, just a lot of really good quality products.
Oh yeah, and the thing I love with Gary and Ruth is they don't really have that used car dealer kind of vibe where it's I just want to sell something to you and get you out the door. They're very personal, well, what are you looking for? How long have you been playing? They're not going to take someone who's well, I've never shot a single rack of pool and be oh, you need this $30,000 P shower. Okay, why don't you start off with a McDermott or a player cue. The very first time I went in there, I got a little action cue and then played a couple sessions of the league. And then when I came back, Gary was all right, when are you going to step up? I see you're shooting better now. You need a better cue,
Definitely.
Whenever you want to, let me know, It wasn't I've got to sell you the most expensive thing I can sell you. He's very good at being very personal and figuring out what is best for you and best for your game.
Personalizes what you want for sure, and tries to get you, keep you in realistic, of what, your skill is and where you're at. But anytime, in your pool game will eventually get better. I've always went back and I have a really expensive P shower custom cue, but
Beautiful cue.
I love it. It's a one-of custom. I went in with Gary, sat down with him. I told him, he got on the phone with Pete Shower, told him exactly what I wanted, what I liked, built it in a beautiful work of art, but just something that is really tailored to me, and I like it. I enjoy shooting with it. But I also have a Q-Tech, SVB Q-Tech.
Nice.
Paid, I think, $500 or $600 for it. He started getting the How cues. I went in there and I'm I already have a cue. I have a custom cue. I don't need another cue. The price that he was selling them for him, I just needed another cue.
Yeah.
I bought it, used it, practiced with it. My friend liked it. I sold it to him.
Nice.
They've got good quality products, and I mean, you can break the bank, but you can also keep within a budget.
And
also,
I am not just saying this to say this. I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. I'm a huge P shower guy. love P shower. It's all I shoot with. I've seen a lot of different P shower cues. Whenever I see someone shooting with one, I always make a point to like, oh, can I see your cue? You know, I love P shower.
Yeah.
And I've seen quite a few customs. I can honestly say I think yours is my favorite that I've ever seen.
Thank you.
That is a beautiful,
Thank you.
beautiful cue.
Took me a while to decide on it.
Oh, dude, I like when you pulled it out. I love all P showers, like you said, have the white bottom. It's black on the bottom. It's what are those like
Turquoise rings
inlays?
with sterling silver.
Oh,
And then the joint doesn't have a metal, it's not shiny, nothing, because I started shooting with the carbon fiber cues. And I didn't want anything white. I wanted to all blend in black. I called up P Shower, I told them what I liked, I told them I wanted this. I got abalone shell in it, I got turquoise in it.
Ugh.
And I ended up getting a wooden shaft with the inlays. I also got an extension with inlays in that also. That it's one of a kind. It's
oh yeah.
beautiful work of
I
art.
love that cue, man. Like, and I'm big on. So I actually have a P shower at home that I rarely shoot with, and it's got a lot of turquoise in it and everything. So I love the look of like the P showers with the turquoise,
I do
the
too.
inlays and stuff. And when Randy was like, oh yeah, when he pulls out his P shower, check it out. I was like, okay, yeah, I like P showers. As soon as you pulled it out of the bag, I was like, dude, that is the sickest P shower I've
It's
ever
beautiful,
seen, man.
And that shell, that abalone shell, it just reflects off the table
Oh,
light.
yeah.
What is that?
The entire thing, like just as a piece, it's like a piece of art. It is, like you
beautiful.
said, man. That's an awesome cue. How long have you been playing pool? Like, how did you originally get into pool?
I started playing probably about, I'm 50 now. I started playing, when I was in the Marines, I'd say about 19 or 20 years old. I'd go down to the clubs overseas on deployment, and there'd be a $5 buy-in, 100 people, start at 7 o'clock, and then by 1 or 2 in the morning, it's over with.
Yeah.
I never drank. I never, ever drank.
Oh, wow.
So I would literally first, second, or third clean house, make a couple $100, and I'm like, this is too easy.
Because by midnight, 1 in the morning, everybody's still in it.
They're not even-
obliterated.
They're not even shooting at the correct balls. They don't even care if they win.
That's awesome.
And
man.
they don't realize, you win this tournament, it's a couple $100.
Yeah.
And it's like it paid for everything for that night, and I just kind of got the bug from that, and then picked it up. My dad got beat by him for 10, 15 years, until finally I got over the hill, and now I beat him.
That's a good feeling, man. That is so awesome. And I can tell by the way you shoot. It's really weird with pool. You see some guys that they're like, oh, they're a great shot, but they've maybe only been shooting a couple years. They just practice so much that they're great at potting balls. But the knowledge isn't so much there. They don't have enough experience behind them to in those clutch situations. Yeah, they can pot balls, but then when it comes down to like, I need to play smart, they kind of, they got that like hero, like I gotta go for it thing going on.
I can make it.
Yeah, and I could tell watching you shoot, I was like, oh, this guy's been shooting a long time because you're very, very smart with your shot selection.
Thank you.
Like in moments where it's like, yeah, I could run out these 3 balls, but I can also play this nasty safety right here, get ball in hand, and now I have an easier run out because, I can set up my shots and everything. I was watching you shoot in there, and especially that one rack where y'all had like the 8 up against the top rail and that whole situation with the corners against Jordan.
Yes.
When I was watching you shoot your shot selections, I was like, oh man, you can tell like you're not only a great shot, you're great at potting balls, but you're very, very smart with your shot
Appreciate
selection.
that.
Yeah, man. So that's why I wanted to know like how long you've been shooting, because I was like, I was gonna be so mad if you were like, I've been shooting for like 2 years.
It takes a lot of losing.
Yeah.
A lot of losing. You're only guaranteed 4 things in pool. You're guaranteed to make balls, miss balls, to win, and to lose. Your game, me and you are playing it, your game has nothing to do with my game. I have my own strategy, my own set of balls, and I still believe that pool is 90% mental, 10% of what you can actually put down on the table, what you've learned, and the toughest opponent out there, people have always, who have you learned the most from? Who's your toughest opponent? Me.
Yeah,
Me.
for sure. Yeah, I fully think, some people say, oh, you play the table, and then some people, oh, you don't play, you gotta, no, that's not true. You gotta know your shoot. I am fully 100% a believer in you play the table.
Absolutely.
It does not matter who's in front of me, who I'm playing. you play the table.
Absolutely.
Because if you play like you play, if you just pop balls, make the shots you need to make, and then make the right decisions at the right moment, it doesn't matter who's shooting against you. It could be
Exactly.
Shane Van Boning, it could be the local drunk over here at the watering hole.
Right.
It's still, you're going to have essentially the same outcome. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? But what advice would you give to somebody, since you've been playing quite a while, what advice would you give to somebody that's like just getting started in pool?
Have a shot routine. Step up to the table, you look at your shot, you have your cue, you chalk, walk around a little bit, you have a routine, and you do it every single time when you get up to the table.
Yes.
Number one, stay down, don't move until the balls have stopped moving. Watch your ball go in the pocket before you attempt to get up. Little hits, little mistakes. Big hits, big mistakes.
Yes.
And don't try to be a good sport. You're playing your friends.
Yeah.
Of course we all want to win,
Oh, yeah.
but it's be a good sport to your opponent, because you're going to expect them to be a good sport to you in return.
Oh, yeah.
And keeping your mind clear. None of us like to miss that easy shot that was, how did I miss that? But keep your mind clear so the next time you get up to the table, it doesn't carry over.
Yes.
And
Oh,
create,
my God.
compound into more and more problems.
All of those, that's honestly some of the best advice I think you could give. Like,
Thank you.
It's all great advice. But that last one, I mean, there was a long time where, especially once I started to get up into the higher level, like it became a 6 and 7, I was so hard on myself that I'd miss a shot and I'd get all tense and pissed off at myself, and then it just ruins the rest of the match. As soon as I finally started just relaxing, and if I messed up, going, all right, you know what, it happened, it's in the
Breathe.
past, I'll forget about it for now, and then once the match is over, I'll work on it later, I need to practice that, whatever. Once I started doing that, my shooting got so much better. The change is amazing. I see some of these guys who, when they shoot, they're just so aggro, and it's like, pool is a game of finesse.
They're preventing themselves from winning.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You cannot play pool being like tense
No.
and like, oh, I can't believe, slamming your stick and all that. It's like, whenever I'm playing somebody in a tournament like that and they start acting like that, I'm like, dude, this is over.
I have to not focus on that person because I don't want their energy to roll over to
Exactly.
me.
Yeah.
I have to let them decompress and just blow themselves up with frustration, and I just stick to my game.
And I tell my teammates all the time, I'm like, don't feed into that.
No.
When you see them acting like that, sometimes the best thing you can do is when you stay calm and just keep playing your game, it makes it worse for them because now they're already in a bad mood. They see you calm, relaxed, cool, collected, you're shooting good. It pisses them off even more. Now they're even more aggro and pissed off. I tell people all the time, I'm like, don't feed into their game. Just stay relaxed, keep doing your thing. It's just gonna end up worse for them.
As soon as you start missing shots, that person that was in a bad mood, now it's happening to him too, and now he starts making balls.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't feed into that because it's like cancer. What the heck did I not make that for?
Pool's a very emotional game, and I think part of mastering pool is learning to deal with and control your emotions on the table, not letting it get the best of you. Oh yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, honestly, like, I think that's, out of all the people I've ever asked, like, what advice would you give a young player? I think that's the best.
Thank you.
Because you see so many, like you said, with standing up. One of the biggest things you see with players is this.
Boop,
as the cue goes
popping
forward,
up.
the head's popping
How did
up.
I not make that? You're never going to make that
And
shot.
pre-shot routine.
Right.
Most young players, there is zero pre-shot routine.
I seen a guy that never even chalked his stick. I go, when do you chalk? He goes, I hit the ball straight and I never put any English. I don't need chalk.
Yeah.
And I go, okay.
Well, so it's actually funny because, I've talked to some people that are like, yeah, I use this chalk because it's a 5-stroke chalk. Like, you only have to stroke every 5 or 6 stroke, whatever. And I'm like, well, I don't like using that kind of chalk because chalking is part of my pre-shot routine.
Absolutely.
Like, every single stroke, some of my friends are like, you chalk too much. I'm like, dude, it's my repetition. You know what I mean? Like, I get up there, do a little chalk, I do, a couple little strokes, stand there, look at my shot. All right, here's what I got to do. Get down. I try to keep it the same every single time. Yeah. You got to be, pool is all about consistency.
Very much.
That's all of that, I think, is like great. You nailed it. Great advice.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, man.
Hell yeah.
So before we go, any like shout outs you'd like to give anybody? Thank yous.
Thank you for league operators that run good leagues and give us pool shooters, and players a place to play and test our abilities against other people in a tournament or a league style format. Great way to meet people. Great way to get out there and test your game.
Yeah.
That's probably about it, really.
Awesome, man. We really appreciate you sitting down, taking a minute with us.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, man. Good luck in the rest of the tournament, brother.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, man. Baba Booey. I'm Max.
I'm Jordan. Baba Booey.